The scene is Tampa, and tonight it's the North versus the South as Maddalone invades Florida. Vinny's in the house, and we're swinging on the Star. And another cordial welcome to Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. I'm your host, Arnie Rosenthal, and we're back on Metro, and we wouldn't be Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing unless I was joined by the commissioner, Randy Gordon. Great to be with you again, Randy.
Arnie, great being with you again.
Vinny Maddalone coming off a classic situation in boxing, his first loss. He seems very relaxed about the whole situation.
He really does, because it was about 3 months ago that this young Italian lad had his boxing bar mitzvah. He got in with a former world champion, Al Cole, and Al Cole took him to school. It was a bruising battle all the way, and Al Cole came out on top. But Vinny says he's really learned from that loss.
All right, he's learned a lot, and that's what you're supposed to learn from former world champions like Al Cole. He'd like to get him back again, but tonight he's got a fellow by the name of Eddie Slater, pretty tough customer.
Ed Slater will be in his face. There's no question about it. He says he's going to move. I don't know that he really has the capability of moving. He's a slugger. He always has been a slugger. He'll get in Vinny's face. I think it's going to be a short, bruising battle. And you know what? With the heavyweights, you never can tell when these guys start throwing their bombs.
Well, no matter how short, stay with us. A lot of boxing tonight on Star Boxing. We'll be back with our first bout after these words. Slater, a very tough fighter, 5-4 record. Don't let that fool you. He's got 3 big knockout wins. Just ran into some very tough competition lately, most likely back in May, Joseph Awanganya, losing a 6-round decision to him. But got some severe punching power over Randy, taking on a very, very focused Vinny Maddalone, coming off that lone loss in his last fight to Al Cole. And I got the impression from talking to Vinny today that King Kong could be standing in front of him, and it's not going to make a difference.
I don't think it would make a difference. I think it could be Al Cole tonight. I just don't think it would make a difference. He really has trained hard for this. He's very focused. The only thing the longer this fight goes, he suffered those cuts about 90 days ago to Al Cole. Let's watch the left eye, the cut. I hope it has healed sufficiently.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for that, no pun intended. There were about 3 or 4 cuts, all caused by headbutts, according to Vinny. And, of course, making that familiar ring walk to the Rocky theme. But it's interesting watching him do the walk down here in Tampa as opposed to when we fought with him in New York.
You couldn't hear yourself think.
Yeah, the crowd would be going crazy. And, of course, this is not the home court that we're used to seeing Vinny Maddalone on, although he has fought outside of New York before. Matter of fact, he made his pro debut down in the South. His first 4 fights coming in North Carolina, Georgia, and right here in Florida. But everything's been New York and Atlantic City up until now. But we're going to get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the battling Bob Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight of the evening is brought to you in part by Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing, One Punch Productions, Kerr's Wing House Bar and Grill, and Sun RV Superstore. This is a co-main event of the evening scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Your judges scoring the fight at ringside are from Bradenton, Florida, Mike Ross, from Palm Harbor, Florida, Don Ballas, and from Orlando, Florida, Alex Levin. Your referee in charge of the action from Pensacola, Florida, Tommy Kimmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks. He weighed in at an even 200 pounds. His professional record, 5 wins, 4 losses with 4 knockouts. From Melbourne, Florida, let's welcome Edward Slater. His opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red, white, blue, and green. He weighed in at 230 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding 15 wins, only 1 loss with 10 big knockouts. From Queens, New York, let's welcome Vinny Maddalone.
Well,
6 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division.
Certainly, as pointed out to us by Ed Slater today, a north-south matchup.
Fight, and I gave you the instructions. I want to remind you, this audience here to watch you fight, so let's keep it clean. Touch them up.
Slater feels this is his home court, but he's giving up 30 pounds to Vinny Maddalone. Not a wise idea, Randy.
No, not wise at all.
But again, Maddalone taking this fight on 3 days' notice. Not that he hasn't been in the gym, but there's a mental aspect to that as well. So this is scheduled for 6.
Now, Eddie said he's going to be moving here. He's going to move, wants to drop the right hand on the chin of Vinny. And I think that's what he's going to have to do. He can't stand in close with a much heavier and stronger Vinny.
Oh, he's got to also stop that 3-bout losing streak that he's got going. Going downstairs to the body is not the ticket on Maddalone. And Maddalone just teeing off on him right now. Has Slater trapped on the ropes. And I've seen this happen to Slater before, in particular in his fight with Michael Bennett. He just gets stuck there and doesn't move and just absorbs major punishment.
Well, lucky for him, Ken Simmons broke him up.
Slater trying to stay out of harm's way right now. Maddalone, very fast starter. A devastating body puncher. This is the heaviest that Slater gets. 200 pounds dripping wet coming in today. Maddalone, 230, solid muscle. Once again, as Slater pinned against the ropes right above us, working the body and then going upstairs. Slater trying to tie him up right now, and this is very typical Slater. And to that extent, very typical Maddalone, too. He'll take advantage of it. You want to lay on the ropes, you want to lay on him, he'll fight you inside, he'll go upstairs, go uppercut. He'll also wing wide punches like that and miss.
Wow. Talk about swinging for the fences. Vinny's just loading up. I don't remember the last time I ever saw anybody just load up with everything they had with every punch they had.
Well, I don't think he wants to give Slater a chance to go to work on those eyes. Slater very aware of the fact that Maddalone had been cut in his last fight. Knows there's scar tissue on that face. And would certainly love to bust one of those cuts wide open.
But Vinny knows about relaxing. He learned that.
Oh, and down goes Slater right in front of us. And it appeared to me, Randy, it might have been a body shot.
Hey! I actually think it was.
Slater nods his head somewhat reluctantly to Tom Kimmons and says, yeah, I'll come back out. But he's going to come out and hold. Maddalone, a devastating finisher. And trying to finish a little strong here is Slater near the end of the round. Will he survive the first?
Vinny wants the first round KO bad. He's not going to get it.
And that might be okay for him. I think Vinny could use a few rounds right now, too. Coming back off of the Cole fight, which was back in June. But a very fast, very sharp round for Vinny Maddalone. See Bob Jackson right there. Not working cuts tonight in the corner of Vinny Maddalone is Al Gavin. Gavin with a prior commitment, as again, Vinny took the fight on short notice. See Jim Birmingham taking the place of Al Gavin tonight, and that could become a factor, Randy, if in fact this fight goes into some rounds and those cuts open up.
Possibly, because Al may be the best cut man in the business, but that's his former partner, his best friend, Bob Jackson, who knows also all about cuts. He's as good as there is.
All right, we start the second round. Slater down in the first from an apparent body attack. Certainly an accumulation of punches as well. Trying to come out a little faster on his bicycle, see if he could perhaps box Vinny. Trying to stay on the outside, but Vinny much too strong, and Vinny very good at cutting off the ring. Slater going for broke here against Maddalone.
And you know what? That left up well.
Once again, it's the body attack that's just taking the legs away. of Slater.
You know what? That left uppercut that was landed by Slater right before he went down looked like he was throwing spitballs at a battleship. Nothing happened when he landed the shot.
Outsized and out-muscled here. Down for the second time in the fight. As Maddalone, that 15-1 record, looking to improve it to 16-1, and said he'd also like to get back with Al Cole. And even that score down for the second time here in the second, and the corner of Ed Slater is up on the ring apron, and he's not happy about the stoppage, but it's his corner that's calling the shots. And this fight's over. And a very easy night and very workmanlike for Vinny Maddalone, taking this fight on 3 to 4 days notice. Coming in right now, we're going to take a look. It was really the combination of the body attack that kept causing Slater to fall. Going down to the mat there was more of voluntary at that point, accumulation of punches. But it was a nice, fast, going down to the mat there was more of voluntary at that point, accumulation of punches. But we're going to get the official time of the stoppage from our ring announcer, Bob Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Tommy Kimmon stops this bout at 1 minute, 6 seconds of the second round. Your winner from Queens, New York, Vinny Maddalone.
All right, it was 106 in the second. And improving to 16-1, Vinny Maddalone, and now dropping down to a 500 record, 5-5. Ed Slater, he's got a 4-bout losing streak. He needs to go back to the drawing board or even consider if he wants to keep doing this. Slater at 200 pounds, dripping wet, really shouldn't be fighting heavyweights. Perhaps he'll go down and campaign at cruiser, and even small cruiser at that. But Randy Gordon's got Vinny Maddalone. We'll see what he thinks of his performance and what's in the future for him. Take it away, Commissioner.
Thanks, Arnie. I got the big guy here, and I got to get on his case after I say congratulations. Okay, now on your case. Today you said to me, I got to stop going for the home run. Boy, if I ever saw anybody go for the home run, you were swinging for the fence.
I tried to go slow at first, but then once I got hit, my instincts took over, so I was going for it.
I mean, you come from Flushing, New York. I mean, you were looking like Mike Piazza going for the fence.
Yeah, I seen him. He was covering up, and I knew when time it was going to happen. You know, I tried to take a little angles. I tried to cut to the side, uppercuts, left hook, especially the 1-2. I think that was a big punch.
I looked over at the corner a few times, and Bob Jackson, you were in there, bobbing and weaving.
Right, a little bob and weave. I'm hoping you can't yell here. So I was hoping he'd look and see, right? I said, yell, bob and weave. So look, bob and weave. But he did good. He did good.
During the fight,
bounced back nice for him.
During the fight, were there any thoughts of the Al Cole fight 90 days ago?
No way. As soon as I get in here, it's business. I got to take care of business, you know. I wish I could have fought the day after the Al Cole fight, you know. I just waiting the days, counting the days to get back in here. And that was it.
Okay, talk about business. I'll be right with you over there, Bob, because I want to turn over this way to his promoter, Joe DeGuardia. What do you think of his performance? I mean, you can't think anything but positive stuff, but where would you like to see him go?
Well, you know, he looked good. He's been off for a while. He's been anxious to get back in there, overly anxious to get back in there since the Al Cole fight. And where I'd like to see him go is where he was heading before. I mean, he's certainly a disciplined fighter, a dedicated fighter, and he's an exciting fighter. So basically, I expect him to go where I always expect him to go, and that's right to the top. He's an exciting fighter, and he'll bounce right back. And, you know, that's what we're looking for here.
Okay, let's get Bob over here who had another comment.
What I wanted to say was in his last fight, he dished out a lot of punishment, but it was all right in front of the guy. This time we worked hard with him on the angles, shifted off. You could see him pulling off to the side and landing those punches, and that's what sets up.
I know, you had him looking like a welterweight.
Yeah, like, well, told him punch like a heavyweight, move like a middleweight.
Vinny, when would you like to get back in the ring again?
I wish next week, but that's up to Joe DeGuardia, my management, you know, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Hey, why not? 1985-86, Mike Tyson did it. As long as you're on that subject, I got to tell you something. There's a rumor that maybe you can kill right now or confirm that Metro is looking to have some kind of tournament, maybe a heavyweight tournament. You want to discuss that? Bring it up right here?
Yeah, I mean, we're glad to be back on Metro, obviously, and Metro is making a strong commitment to Star Boxing. And one of the things we've discussed is putting together a tournament, a Metro tournament.
Oh, then I did hear a right rumor.
Did hear a right rumor, and it could be an elimination type tournament. And one of the things we've been looking at, since Vinny's been telling me that he wants to fight anybody since that Cole fight, he wants to win this thing, we're thinking about having a heavyweight elimination tournament, Vinny taking on anybody that wants to fight him on the Metro channel, with the culmination being the champion being crowned next year for being the Metro champion.
Vinny, what do you think about that?
I think that's great. You know, whatever Joe tells me to do, I'll do. If he wants me to fight 5 guys one night, I'll fight 5 guys one night. You know, like you said, I'll take on anybody and let's do it.
Who knows? 5 guys in one night. Remember, George Foreman once did it. You know where George Foreman is now? Just a multi-millionaire and a great former heavyweight champion. Who knows what the future has for this guy, Vinny Maddalone. Let's go back to ringside and our own heavyweight champion, Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal.
Well, but I am not going to go in there and fight for the Metro title against Vinny. That's for sure. Thank you, Randy. And once again, we're looking forward to the competition for the Metro title and seeing Vinny both win it and defend it. So, once again, Vinny Maddalone improves to 16-1. More to come on Star Boxing. Stay with us. We're swinging.